Last year, Apple released the iPad Air 4 and it instantly became a competitor to the iPad Pro. One of the criticisms that I had and what became my biggest video so far was that 64 gigs was not enough for most people. And one of my biggest criticisms about the iPad Air 4 was that for the price, 64 gigs was definitely not enough. A lot of people might still be wondering how much storage is enough for an iPad. So I thought I'd make this video to help you guys out. I'm gonna be going over the different levels of storage with the various iPads that Apple offers, and I'm gonna be talking about which storage might be good for you. Before we do get in the video, I'm gonna kindly ask you guys to hit the subscribe button. It really helps my channel grow and the algorithm appreciates that. I'm so close to hitting that 1K subs. So if you can help me out, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you found this video useful, and I will reward you, or one of you. I'm gonna be doing a HomePod mini giveaway to one lucky winner. All you gotta do is subscribe and then comment down below, letting me know that you subscribed, or you can just comment on the video after you subscribed and you'll be entered into the giveaway. If you've entered in the past, you're still entered. You're just getting more opportunities because I'm gonna be selecting it from a random video. Let's get into the video. You online shop, you use a lot of streaming, so you're watching Netflix all the time or using HBO Max or anything like that that doesn't require local storage to be used. It's a good option, especially if you're not going to download a lot of things, download a lot of apps, download a lot of games. This might be for somebody like you. The other people that I would suggest getting your iPad is parents, buying it for their kid who is doing online learning now. If you're using it mostly as a learning device, then you won't really need more than 32 gigs on an iPad. You can get away with buying your kid a 32 gig just because they can use it for their education, but also if they wanted to play some games, light games, they could download it and still be able to use the iPad. So again, this is not really for the majority of people, just a few select people. Moving on is the 64 gig iPad. So this is a step up from the 32 gig. This is the iPad that I personally got for a few times when I've been buying the iPads. And the reason why I got this was because it allowed me to download things locally. I got this specifically when I was in university. I was using the iPad for my readings, but also at the same time, I might have been playing a few games between lectures or even downloading movies and watching them. So this is really useful if you do want to keep things locally. You might be somebody that has some photos that you want to keep on your iPad, or somebody that plays games, or somebody that wants to do things like light photo editing, possibly light video editing. I don't recommend doing video editing with this, but if you want to, it's technically possible with 64 gigs depending on how you shoot your content. But this is gonna be a good one for a lot of people. I'm not gonna say that this is the one that most people should buy just because your needs might change over the years. You might end up needing more than 64 gigs. However, this is a good entry point, I'd say, into iPads if you're somebody that downloads files a little bit, but also you're somebody that does a little more than just only web browsing or using the iPad to online shop. So now we have the 128 gig. This is what I'd say that a lot of people should get if you're thinking about longevity and keeping your iPad for the long term. It's right in the middle in terms of storage options, and I think that this works well for people that are doing photo editing. So for me, I'm a photographer, just went on a trip and I took a lot of nature photos, so I ended up using the iPad Pro to edit a lot of my photos, and that's good because I've taken like more than 10 gigs of photos and I was able to easily put that onto the iPad, and I still had more storage to edit a video or whatever. So another way that I used it was I downloaded videos and movies to watch during my flight. So if you're somebody that needs to download files and you can download big files, then you're definitely going to benefit from getting the 128 gig. I really do think it's like the sweet spot because it's not too costly in terms of if you're looking at iPad Pros, and it is enough to make sure that you last a few years. I've had my iPad Pro for like a couple of months now and I've used 88 gig. However, I'm almost filling it up. In the past, I've never hit more than like 100 gigs on an iPad, so I think I'll be okay for a few more years. So yeah, this is really good for people that are on the go. You want to download apps a lot or download a lot of content, maybe edit photos, light video editing and whatnot. You can get away with the 128 gig iPad. Now, next up is 256 gigs. Now, this is a step up from 128, obviously twice the size. 256 is specifically, I think, for people that edit a lot of video. So if you're a video editor and using LumaFusion or the iPad Pro for your side video editing device, not huge projects, maybe you're editing 1 to 2 video projects at a time, you're also doing some photo editing, you definitely can go with the 256 version, and that will give you a lot of room. Not only that, but for people that download a lot of huge apps, maybe you're a huge gamer, you download a lot of games, you're gonna want to look into the 256 gig, because I think that this is definitely enough storage to edit photos, edit videos, play some games, do whatever you got to do, and you're still gonna have a bit of room. Like I said, this is more for a secondary type of computer type of thing, but if you're using the iPad Pro as your main device, you might want to go bigger, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But this is something for just people that need a secondary device. For me personally, I think that this is the next one that I'm gonna go with in the future. If I upgrade my tablet next year, then I'm gonna go with 256, and that gives me a little bit more breathing room just in case I need it. That is just a safety thing, but for a majority of people, this is for like a light power user. And the last one, and I'm gonna group together the 1 terabyte and 2 terabytes. This is a lot of storage for a mobile device, and for I think 99% of people that have computers already, it might be overkill. Specifically, I'd recommend this for people that use the iPad Pro as their main computer and do not have another computer available to use. You might benefit from buying the 1 terabyte to 2 terabyte version, and that gives you longevity. So that means that in the next year, you're not gonna run out of storage in the next 2 years. 1 to 2 terabytes is more than I have on my MacBook Air. So that just tells you a lot. It is able to download videos, download everything locally. Speaking of locally, these are for people that might be off the grid. Maybe you're not gonna be connected to Wi-Fi all the time, so you need things downloaded right away. Maybe you're somebody that edits a lot of video projects, and maybe you gotta show it to a client in a meeting. Then you're definitely not gonna run out of space, so you put it on your iPad and it just looks good, especially if you have the Pro with the XDR display. Also, if you do really intensive work, which is kind of what I just mentioned, but people that are doing things like coding, gaming, a lot of multitasking on the iPad Pro, then it also comes with more RAM, 16 gigs of RAM on the iPad Pro if you get the one with more storage. Definitely a huge benefit if you're gonna need more space. You might still want to buy this version just because Apple might be able to still save themselves and add Final Cut Pro. I know I sound absolutely ridiculous still suggesting this, but who knows what's gonna happen in the future. With 16 gigs of RAM, they might offer more powerful apps, maybe not the full-fledged Final Cut, but maybe more powerful apps will come to the iPad Pro. And if you need something right now and you wanna do it based on longevity, maybe get this because it has more power to run those potential powerful apps that are coming soon. But that's it, that pretty much wraps the video. Let me know what iPad you have, how much storage you have, how much space you're using, or how much space you want in your next one. Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to win that HomePod Mini for free. All you gotta do is subscribe, comment down below letting me know that you subscribed, or simply commenting on the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.